Hi viewers, welcome to my channel. This is Sridhar Reddy Elpeddi, Assistant Professor of Physics from Government Degree College for Women, Nalgonda. Welcome to my channel, Sri Quantum Academy, Feel the Physics at Glance. Today I am going to discuss with you a topic, Basics of Oscillations. In this video, we will discuss how the oscillatory motion is different from translational and rotational motion and what are the properties of oscillatory motions. Before going to watch my video, please subscribe my channel if you not yet done. Press bell icon to get latest updates. First of all, let us discuss what is motion. What is motion? Generally, the word motion refers to the change of the state. Change of the state of a body. That means, if the state of the body is changing, then we used to say that body is in motion. This change in state may be in any manner. Depending on the change in state, the motions are three types. One is translational motion, and another one is rotational motion, and third one is oscillatory motion. To understand the difference between these three motions, let us suppose this is a body. Initially, body is at this position. If I apply a force or by any chance, if you change the state of the body from here to there like this, now body is moved from here to there. Now initial stage is this one, but final stage is this one. So initial stage and final stage are not same. That means the state or the position of the body is changed from initial to final states. This is called translational motion. That means the position of the body is changed from one place to other. Generally, the distance between initial state and final state refers to the displacement. That means in translational motion, it transfers from one place to other. That means the body gains displacement. This is important characteristic of translational motion. And initial and final states are not same. They are different. Translational motion is characterized by displacement. That means body gains displacement. Displacement means the distance between initial and final position. This is called displacement or linear displacement. The rate of change of linear displacement is linear velocity. The rate of change of linear velocity is linear acceleration. Like this, all the physical quantities in translational motion are described with word linear, like linear displacement, linear velocity, linear acceleration, linear momentum, like this. Next, second one. Next, now let us discuss about rotational motion. Rotational motion means, see here, this is the body, initially is at this position and now this is the final position. If you clearly observe, the initial position and final positions are same. If the initial and final positions are same, then this type of motion is called rotational motion. The important point you have to remember in case of rotational motion is initial and final positions are same and body does not shift from its original position. From its initial position only, body is rotating about an axis. Now rotational motion is characterized with axis of rotation. That means at about which axis that body is rotating. So rotational motion is characterized with axis of rotation. Now here body is not gaining any displacement, but body is rotating. That means the angular position of the body is changing. So while it is rotating, initially it is there, from after completing one cycle, now it is coming here. That means it is rotating 360 degrees. That means here you have to describe the motion of a body with angle. That means angular displacement, theta. Here the motion is described with angular displacement. The rate of change of angular displacement is angular velocity. The rate of change of angular velocity is angular acceleration. Like this, all the physical quantities in rotational motion are described with word angular. Angular displacement, angular velocity, angular acceleration, like this. Most important concept in rotational motion is, for translational motion, the inertial properties is mass. The inertial property in translational motion is mass, but inertial property in rotational motion is moment of inertia. Right? This is rotational motion. So, important concept in rotational motion is, initial and final positions of a body are same and body does not displace from its original position. But body gains angular displacement. That next, third one, oscillatory motion. To understand oscillatory motion, see here, this is a body, initially is at here, now it is moving from here to there, that means towards the right side it is moving, and again it is coming back to its original position. Now initial position is here only and final position is also same here only, but there is a motion. Now what kind of motion is this? Actually initial and final positions are same, but in a straight line it is moving front side and coming back to its original position. So body initial and final positions are same, but there is a displacement in body, right? What kind of motion is this? To understand this one, very simple example, a simple pendulum. It moves from here to there and again comes back. Like this it is moving front and back, that means to and fro motion. This type of motion is called to and fro motion. That means it is moving towards that side and it is coming back again. That means to and fro. If you clearly observe this type of motion, body always moves towards the center point. That means if the body is that side, again it's come to this side. If body is this side, again it comes to center point. That means from the center point, body is moving toward the extreme right and body is moving toward the extreme left. That means from a center point it is moving right and left. That means to and fro motion. In this type of motion, important point is initial and final positions are same. Actually it is starting from center, now it is moving towards the end and again coming back. That means from the center point, that is called fixed point or mean position or equilibrium position. From the equilibrium position, to and fro motion. This type of to and fro motion from fixed point is called oscillatory motion. Right? So oscillatory motion means moving to and fro motion from a fixed point. That means initial position and final positions are same. That means where it is started, again it is coming there towards the mean position. Oscillatory motion is described with to and fro motion from a fixed point. Finally it come to rest at equilibrium position. That center point is called fixed point or equilibrium position or mean position. In this case, important point is initial and final positions are same, but body gains displacement. That means body is moving from its original position. That means there is a displacement, but finally it comes to original position. Actually what is rotational motion? Initial and final positions are same, but body is not moving from its original position. There is no displacement. Here there is a displacement, but initial and final positions are same. This type of motion is called oscillatory motion. Examples for oscillatory motion are simple pendulum and mass spring system and tuning fork. Best example is cradle, uyala, swinging. All these are the examples for this type of motion. In this type of motion, body starts from its original position and moves towards the extreme left or right and again comes back. That means to and fro motion is there. This type of motion is oscillatory motion. Next one, how this oscillatory motion is described? Oscillatory motion is characterized with time period. That means after some time interval, body motion is repeated, that is called time period. If any motion repeated after particular time interval, then that type of motion is called periodic motion. Periodic motion means the body should repeat its motion after a particular time interval. This type of motion is periodic motion. Now oscillatory motion is a periodic motion. Next, what are the characteristic properties of oscillatory motion? That means what are the terms which helps to describe about oscillatory motion? Like in translational motion, linear displacement, linear velocity, linear acceleration. In case of rotational motion, angular displacement, angular velocity, rotation, angle, like this. In the same way, what are the terms, what are the characteristic properties which helps to describe oscillatory motion of a particle? Now it is very clear that body is starting from its center position and it is moving to and fro. That means in oscillatory motion there is a mean position or center position or fixed point. This is also called equilibrium position. From equilibrium position it is moving towards the left side and right side. The distance from the mean position to the particle is called displacement, like this. If it is moving towards the left side, slowly its displacement is increasing and it is reaching maximum value, then again it is coming back, right? So the displacement means the distance between the mean position and particle. This displacement is maximum at extreme ends, extreme left end or extreme right end. The maximum displacement is called amplitude. Amplitude means the maximum displacement of the particle from its mean position. This amplitude is equal for left and right side. That means the particle, whatever the distance it is moving towards the left side, same distance it moves towards the right side. That means the amplitude is equal for left and right sides. This amplitude is positive or negative. Here positive and negative indicates which direction. It is moving in forward direction, then it is positive amplitude. If it is going in reverse direction, then its amplitude is negative. So one side is plus A and other side is minus A. A is amplitude of the oscillations. Next one, time period. The most important concept for an oscillatory motion is time period. If you clearly observe the oscillatory motion, after a certain time interval, it repeats its motion. That means it is starting here and moving towards the end and again coming to here. After that, again it is moving from here and again coming. That means after particular time interval, every time it is repeating its motion. The time period is defined as the time taken to complete one oscillation. Here oscillation means if you start at left end, then you have to move towards the right end and again you have to come back to the left end. So if you start at left end, then you have to move right end and again come to left end. That will call one complete oscillation. Otherwise if you start right end, if you start the oscillation at right end, then you have to come to the left end and again go back to the right end. If you consider time period from mean position, then you have to start from mean position, you have to go to left end, again come back and go to right end, again come back. That is called oscillation. So complete oscillation means you have to start from mean position, you have to move to one end and again come back and move to another end and again come back. So wherever you are starting, then you have to reach there again. How much time it will take to complete that oscillation is called time period. You can define time period from left end or from right end or from mean position. Wherever you are there, after complete oscillation you have to be there. How much time it will take to complete that one? That is called time period. The units for time period are seconds. Next one, frequency. Generally frequency indicates how fastly oscillations are taking place. That means I will tell you two cases. One is there is a simple pendulum which completing its oscillation for 1 hour. Let us suppose take another simple pendulum which is completing its oscillation in 1 minute. In this case, if you compare these two simple pendulum, first pendulum time period is 1 hour. That means after 1 hour it completes one oscillation. That means it will take 1 hour to finish its oscillation. But whereas second oscillator, second pendulum, it will take only 1 minute to complete oscillation. That means if I start both at same time, then first one after 1 hour it will complete its oscillation. But second one in same time, in 1 hour, it will complete 60 oscillations, because it will take 1 minute to complete one oscillation. Na? So in 1 hour it will complete 60 oscillations. That means the speed of oscillations is more in case of second one, speed of oscillations is less in case of first oscillator. This is indicated with frequency. Frequency means the number of oscillations per 1 second. It is defined as how many number of oscillations are taking place in given time. That is indicated with frequency. Proper definition is the number of oscillations per second. It is denoted with nu. Definition is nu is equal to 1 by t. Here t is time period. Units are 1 by second or second inverse. In another way you can say frequency units are hertz. You can use for frequency omega also. Omega indicates angular frequency. The relation between frequency and angular frequency is omega is equal to 2 pi nu, where omega is angular frequency, nu is frequency. If the frequency is more, that indicates more number of oscillations taking place in given time. If frequency is less, then less number of oscillations taking place. Depending on the frequency, again oscillations are two types. Depending on the frequency, oscillations are two types. One is oscillations, second one is vibrations. If the frequency of the oscillations is less, then they said to be normal oscillations. If the frequency is more, that means more number of oscillations are taking place in less time, then that type of oscillations are called vibrations. So vibrations means more number of oscillations taking place in given time. Very simple example is tuning fork. Take a tuning fork and make it to oscillate. When tuning fork is oscillating, you can clearly observe that vibrations or the oscillations are very fast. If you touch with your hand, you can experience more number of oscillations are taking place in very less time. They are called vibrations. And one more important is, for oscillations, amplitude is large. That means the distance it is moving from the mean position is large. But whereas for vibrations, the amplitude is less. That means it will move just near to the mean position. It will not move longer distances. So the amplitude is very less in case of vibrations and amplitude is large in case of oscillations. And frequency is large in case of vibrations and frequency is less in case of oscillations. Right? Next one, restoring force. If you clearly observe the motion of a simple pendulum, when it is moving from its mean position, after reaching extreme end, what it is doing? Again it is coming back. Now the question is, why it is coming back? Because someone is pulling it towards the mean position. That means there acts a force which always try to bring that pendulum to its original position. Actually originally it is at mean position. Now it is at extreme position. That means when it is moving away from the mean position, there acts a force which always try to restore the position. Restoring means bringing to its original position. The force which acts on the pendulum which try to bring the pendulum to its original state is called restoring force. This restoring force F is proportional to the displacement. That means as long as you are moving away from the mean position, more and more restoring force acts. That's why its velocity more and more it reduces. If you see clearly, the velocity of the simple pendulum is large at mean position. As long as it is moving away from the mean position, slowly its velocity is reducing, because more and more restoring force acting, that's why its velocity is reducing and it is 0 at extreme position, right? So restoring force is always proportional to the displacement and it is in negative direction. Here negative direction indicates if the particle is moving in forward direction, then force always pull it to the opposite direction, that means opposite to the displacement. That's why F proportional to minus x. Now remove proportionality and put a constant. F is equal to minus kx, where k is restoring force constant. K is restoring force constant. It is defined as the force per unit displacement. Restoring force constant K is defined as force acting per unit displacement. This definition is very simple. From above equation, F is equal to kx. From that, K is equal to F by x. F means force, x means displacement. So restoring force is defined as the force acting per unit displacement, right? This is about restoring force. Next one, velocity. The velocity is defined as the rate of change of displacement, right? The velocity of the oscillations is maximum at the mean position and it reduces as it is moving away from the mean position, and it is 0 at extreme positions and maximum at mean positions.